Richie's in the building,
and Van will be here sometime.
Nah, he's on remote. He
said what?
He's remote. He's on his way in.
Hey, this beer's for you, yo.
And if you don't know who we are the
Man Clique
Podcast.
Yes,
Right here
sir.
for you. Starting our day off on a positive note,
Let's click, not click.
So, let's go around the world. What did you do since the last time we saw you on the Grown Man Clique Podcast last week? What you do, Scott T?
Did he just? Oh my God. We had a fantastic celebration yesterday. My man right here, the king and queen, 35 years. We did it up right, man.
Yeah, it was real nice.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Lit up the room, lit up the roof, and everything else.
Yeah.
Light it up, smoke it.
And
What else you did?
had a party on Friday that I had a fantastic time at.
What was it?
It was a party.
It was a special kind of party.
What kind of party was
It was a tennis shoe ball, right?
it?
Yeah, sneaker soiree.
Yeah.
Actually is what it was called. Yeah, it's a lifestyle party.
Yeah, but I mean, the fun part was you got to dress up, but you got to wear some kicks.
Right.
Didn't have to put on no shit kickers. Didn't
Right.
have to put on your tiptoe blades.
Right. No road stompers. Yeah. Gotcha.
Mhm.
That wasn't the only fun part.
What was the fun part?
The stripper was the fun part.
Ooh, tell me
They had
about
strippers.
No, they had 8 strippers. 1 stripper
Mhm.
in the middle of the living room. Big old pole.
that. What you going like I'm train on you? No.
My name not Amtrak.
Oh, God. That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
All
enough.
right. What'd you do, Sergeant Pepper?
Sergeant Pepper. I think a little salty. My weekend was cool, man. Just like Scott, yesterday I came, celebrate, chilling, Jay.
Right.
Come on, you got the
I'm
buttons.
trying to do something else.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. I was with Jay Friday. We were just kicking it, chilling with the homie for real. Saturday, what did I had going on Saturday? I definitely did something.
I recovered on Saturday.
Yeah,
That's why I don't remember it.
it's slipping my mind right now, but I definitely was moving and shaking on Saturday. I just can't think exactly what I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, like we addressed at the beginning of the week, last week was pretty much a really rugged slope for me. I had a bunch of memorial services to attend for people who are no longer with us, and just want to send my love out to the Pittman family, the Henson family, and the Ward family, and the Fair family, who all lost people We
Absolutely.
just want to let them know that we're here for you, we love you, and we are grown men. We watch out for our women. So
We do.
if you need me, you know where to find me.
Right.
But the week ended on a positive note because after 34 years, 11 months, and 30 days, the June 4th became my 35th year of marital bliss. So I would like to say thank you to my beautiful bride of 35 years, Sheila. And I also want to I'm going to throw some flowers out later, so I'm not going to say much now. But it was a wonderful time. We threw together something real quick. People said we needed to celebrate, so we had a little party on the roof. We had some crabs, some shrimp, some ribs, some burgers. Just an all-American cookout the way we do it.
Right.
So that's what we did. And here he comes to a little fanfare. My boy is in the house. Bang, go. What's up, man?
Hey, what's good?
Esa conversación es interesante celular.
Say again?
Es una conversación larga.
Yeah, it's
Turn the
really
beat
loud.
down. But we got Casanova saying congrats to you both.
Casanova, Kelly. Hey, what's up?
Yo, what up, Cass?
Who else on the screen, man?
We got Casanova Kelly watching. We got Aunt Little in the
Hey.
building.
Hey,
Hello, man.
what's up?
We got Ron Pringle watching.
Hey,
We got
Ron.
Jeremy Bowers.
Hey, Jeremy.
My big homie Naeem is watching. Shout
Yo,
out to him.
Naeem.
Yeah,
What up, yo?
Yeah.
got a whole cast of crew and advertising. So anyway,
I showed you Gaslight Friday.
yeah. I saw Gaslight on Tubi. Naeem was in it. Yeah. I just wrote it. Naeem was in it. Briefly.
Wait,
I think he was in it.
What's wrong?
Weren't you in it briefly? I thought I
I
saw
don't
you.
think so. No.
Well, just say something in the chat. I thought you was in the background on one of them scenes. I saw you.
But nah, we definitely did that Friday. I remember that.
Yeah. So,
Wow,
we had a good celebration. I want to give another big shout out to my sister, the Reverend Judy L. Brown. She did a great job coordinating and decorating and just doing what she do, come in, change everything, make it her own. That's my sister, but it was amazing. She did a good job.
Robin Judy.
Yeah, big shout out to RJ. So, man, what did you do since the last time you've been in the podcast streets with us?
Man, it's just been busy. I guess with summer coming, everybody wants stuff done. I had to climb up underneath of a lady's steps today and get behind her cabinets to put in a run for an electrical stove. I had to go to another guy's house because he had a breaker that was getting hot, so he thought his panel was going to explode. It's been jumping.
Okay, cool. So,
Bro, his body making a whole
you
bullshit.
got volume tonight. Them headphones you got on is killing the game. It is loud as fudge sickles when you get on there. Well, I guess we're done with that. So we need to go to our next segment, and everybody knows what that is. Flowers or powder for you. That's right, everybody. That's flowers or powder. For those new to the Man Clique Podcast, we'll let you know what we mean by flowers or powder. But for those of you who know, you know what you get to do now. Flowers and powder. If somebody has been amazingly wonderful, done something great, been the apple of your eye, and done something that made you smile and just made you feel like the human beings are actually still, there is some good left in us, you want to give them flowers. But if somebody farted in the elevator when it was crowded, if somebody decided to pull around you to park in the parking space that you've been waiting for, if somebody decided that they were going to call the police on you for having a cookout and it wasn't even 11 o'clock yet and the noise wasn't too loud, you might want to take out your LeBron James talcum powder, sprinkle it on your hands, get them nice and dry, and slap the bejesus out of them. If that is giving them powder. So I know that we're going to go around the room, but if anybody wants to volunteer for a powder or a flower, please raise your hands or start talking now.
Man, I just got flowers for everybody. I ain't got nothing to be mad about, nothing to be angry about. I'm just spreading love on this beautiful day.
Okay.
That's all I gotta say.
Cool. Scotty.
Flowers goes out to the security dude at the party on Friday who kept me from getting hit in the middle of the night for parking on the street.
So explain.
I was parking on the street and there was no curb and there was no divider and there was no nothing, and it was the middle of the night, and if he wasn't there, somebody came up and they would hit me.
Oh, okay. Well, big shout out to him.
And power to my neighbors because
They're your neighbors.
they're my neighbors. Yep.
And okay. Van.
Oh, I had my mic muted. I just want to give flowers out to some of my clients because a couple of them actually waited on me to do the work that they needed done rather than hire somebody else. So that just says a lot to me about like my work and that they trust me. One lady, even a couple days ago, she wasn't even home, and she had another contractor go in, and she just wanted me to sit in the backyard just to make sure they were doing what they were supposed to do. I didn't have to do anything except watch them. So I got to give my clients flowers this week. I know some great folks.
Well, I'm just going to go right in and let you know that today, after the weekend that I had, I am giving nothing but flowers to my friends and family who came and supported our little get together, our little shindig, and just made us feel like we were worthy of being praised for 35 years of matrimonial bliss. So I am really, really happy for all of the people who came through and showed up and showed out for me and Sheila. And we love you all.
That's what's up.
I guess we got all flowers. I think that's the first time. Well, you did give a mini powder, but that was the majority flowers for the first time in the history of the Griot Man.
What's up, Steve?
Oh, I'm glad Steve and I'm joined in because they're going to have something to say about this topic. Because, this week we are going back into our photography streets where we all live and breathe. That's where we are from. And what we wanted to do was, we always talk about things from the model's point of view. So when we go into talking about stuff from the photographer's point of view, it always adds a little bit of spice to the subject. So today we are talking about, you want to be a model? You want to be a model? Well, there's some stuff out there that you need to know. So from the photographer's point of view, it's pretty simple. But I want to play this clip right quick, and this is where we need to start off.
They're not going to tell you always how to do every specific thing. Photographers are going to give you direction, but at some point, you have to prove yourself. No one's going to pay you to do something if you don't do it well. I think that learning that there is something to do and that you have to go beyond your looks and that your personality matters. And nowadays we're in a time where you have to be able to actually speak. Like it's not a mystery. You can't hide behind what you do anymore. You have to be able to communicate with people. Brands want models to talk. So I think that a lot goes into it. I want to be a model. I want to work for Vogue magazine. I want to work for Harper's Bazaar. I want to walk for Dior in Paris. I want to do all the. If you want to do all of those things, then you have to be competitive in order to do it. There is nothing that special about you until you are in demand and you know how to model for every.
And I think she was ending with, you need to learn how to model for everything. And this is the key. You know, new models, you come in, you're excited, and you need to figure out what you want to do. And how am I going to get in front of a photographer? Well, there are a couple different ways that you can do that. We are living in an age where you have instant access to millions and millions of photographers, millions and millions of people, and that is through the internet. And right now, what we've seen mostly in this era of models and photography is that workshops and groups, let's not even go into workshop, but groups such as the Baltimore DMV, Baltimore TFP, DMV TFP, photographers, models of the DMV, all of the different, amalgamations of TF shooting is what comes to mind, and how we go to find models when we need models. And not the professional models, but usually when you're going into the TF world, you're not looking for the professional models, you're looking for up and coming people that you see something in their face or something, they can post. And models, if you're looking to get into photography and be a model, your TF groups are going to be some of your best ways of getting out there. And the reason why is because usually TF stands for, it means trade for. Trade for is usually meaning without compensation, which means you're not going to have money you're going to be dealing. You are trading I do it this way. TFP could be trade for pictures, trade for performance, trade for presentation, trade for positivity. You can look at it anyway, but whatever you're trading for, you are not getting paid for. It's just a matter of fact that you guys are working with each other to come to a common goal. Another thing, and it doesn't happen as much with the models that are more experienced, but the newer models may think that they are going to be paid, even in TF work. But that's not how it works. TF is just that, it's trade. Photographers, even if you're a new photographer, you're not in the right group if you want to be paid for TF work. That's not what it's for. But trade for photographers usually builds up your portfolio. Trade for portfolio, that's the other one I was looking for.
Right.
So, go ahead.
John said trade for six-pack.
You got something?
Yeah, so for me, the trade for, since I deal with clothing mainly, was trade for clothes because I needed advertisements. So if it was something that I could use and a model that I wanted to see in like a particular setting or particular style, let's say beachfront and a swimsuit, we would trade the photos for clothes instead of like an actual monetary thing. Now, there are some models that I've worked with that have been so phenomenal that I have paid them for the shoot and have given them clothes. There's a few, not many, but that's normally how I work things out.
Well, mainly tonight we are going to stay in that new model lane. We don't want to go into like our experienced models because then we'll be blurring the lines.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's a good thing. I've done a TF and it went so well that I gave them the model gas money, something like that. I just felt that, they deserve something for being here because they did a good job. But you don't have to, you shouldn't have to. Whatever you agreed upon coming through the door is what they should get going out the door. So, what we need to do, and I think what's been going on more or less in the new model realm is that they don't know and nobody's telling them. Hopefully, people will come back on this podcast and listen, because even in the chats we have Steve, we have Anthony, we have I think I saw Casanova as well. I mean, as a model, he's a male model, and when you were coming out, and John, what we have a lot of people who have a lot of experiences, as well as the four of us in the modeling and photography realm, that can give these people the things that they need to know. Because I want to pull up this other video, and
before you go to the video though,
yeah,
I want to slow it down just
Yeah.
a tad bit, right? I got a question for Pam.
yeah,
When someone new come to you and ask you, say, hey, I'm looking to get into modeling, what is your first response to them?
why? Why? Because I want to know what they want to get out of it.
Not mad at that.
Nope, me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Not necessarily why, but what? Essentially, yeah. What's your goal? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
Sure.
And you guys in the comments, please put in your answers if you would, and we'll read them on the screen. But I think the why is a good question, and it's because people just don't understand that this is real work. Just like the young lady said on the first video, this is work. You come into it thinking it's about your looks, and that'll get you in the door, but it's not going to get you to the point where you are going to be remembered. All right, who said that?
Steve Bennett.
Why and what have you heard?
I asked that question because that's the first thing that popped in my head too.
Yeah.
It's like, why, right? But then I went more in my head in a little detail. Like, why do you think you can do this?
Right.
Like, why do you think you can do this?
Yeah.
I don't hit because look at me. No. This is not worth my time.
Right.
If I want a nation, maybe, but
Because
work. I'm talking about work.
right.
Like, come on. No.
So I want to run this real quick, and this is why, because this next video shows some of the simplest things that I bet you new models and some older models don't even know they should do, and some things they should have.
Essentials that you need before you get into the modeling industry. There's certain things that I didn't have, and then I got to the job and they were like, where's this, where's that? So I'm going to tell you now so that you don't have that same problem. So the first job I ever did, I didn't have plain tank tops, like just a black, white, and maybe a grey tank top. Buy it now. Like, just buy it. The way I had less than 12 hours to prepare for a shoot that I had, and I got told that I was doing the shoot the next morning at like 9 p.m. at night, and I didn't have a white shirt, so I had to just use a top in my wardrobe and turn it inside out. Jail. Second of all, nude underwear. So like bras and pants. Like, you just need it. For like runway, because sometimes they may supply you stuff. For example, a nude thong. That doesn't suit the vibe and feels very uncomfortable. Just buy your own. Also, skincare. Like, invest in a bit of skincare before you start modeling. I think that's always fun. It's always good to look after your skin, especially if you're going to be in front of the camera all the time. You don't have to have perfect skin to model, but just a little bit of a glow, maybe. It's always nice.
So a lot of models don't know that they should come in with nude, black, white underwear, nude, black, white bra, nude, black, white tank top. You should have a nude, black, and clear heels.
A hairstyle that actually looks good and compliments
Yeah.
your face. Because that thing was everywhere. But that's good.
Or you're fresh, but you should be fresh faced unless you've already agreed that you should have makeup on, because they're not paying for a makeup artist for a first shoot. There's some benefits that once a photographer gets to know you and feels that you're worthy of it, then you'll get those extras. Like, you'll get the makeup artist, you'll get extra wardrobe, you'll get a stylist, but going right in, a brand new model coming straight out the gate, most photographers are just going to give you the bare bones minimum because they're not going to waste their time and their energy with putting up a shoot and then you have no skill. You got to wait until you can really find out if this person can do what they said. So I believe this is Kelly. Me personally, I was encouraged by my girlfriend at the time, then a photographer I worked with for a book cover. Then I fell in love with everything about it. Like being able to create an artistic photography way is beautiful. Create in an artistic photography way, photographic way is beautiful. And that's what it's about. See, he has a reason how and why. Um, just like in some of the other clips that we'll play, when I was talking and looking at the things that were going on, it's not just about beauty, because just like the model said, you don't have to have perfect skin, you have to have the attitude. That's the second time we've heard attitude in the clips. It's the attitude. There's this perfunctory way that you should look at yourself, and you have to have confidence. You have to have a bit of swag about yourself, and you have to feel confident in what you're doing. It's not just about looks. I've had some pretty awful, beautiful looking models come through here.
Pretty awful, beautiful models.
Yep, they were pretty awful.
Yeah, I think we've all kind of had that situation where the model was absolutely drop dead gorgeous, but her attitude sucked, or even in some cases, like hygiene. Like, did you shower before you get here? Like, that's happened before. So, it's a lot of things that go into it. Like when I'm shooting outdoors, I think one of my most impressive shoots is when a model showed up with her own blotter paper. I didn't even know what it was. It was just paper that you can just put on your face to remove oil without removing your makeup. And I was like, I'm going to have to remember to start carrying that from now on. That's a good thing to have.
And that's another thing. I mean, like the gentleman said, simple facial and skincare stuff. He said you should, or I believe it was a gentleman. I don't know what they identify as, so let me say they. But simple beauty care products should be in your bag. And you should have maybe some lipstick, maybe some light powder, something that just have in your bag in case there is no makeup artist, And contrary to popular belief, your digital should not be done with flash photography. I mean, more or less, it's getting looked over now, and people are starting to look past that. But growing up in my streets, when you did people's digitals, which were then Polaroids, you did them with natural light on the whitest background you could find, and it didn't even have to be all white. It just had to be clean of any substances and no swirl marks or anything behind them. It just had to be a plain looking background. I do digitals in my studio, but usually I use constant light for them so that there is no flash photography, because depending upon what light modifier you have, you can actually change the look of skin.
Right.
So if you're doing it with flat light, you're pretty much going to get a pretty even look.
You know exactly what you're getting.
Jay, you gotta break that down.
As far as
we talking to new models.
We
They
are.
don't understand that language right now.
What did I say?
Yeah,
That was over your
digitals.
head?
Explain digitals to them.
Okay, so your digitals.
Yeah.
Digitals should be the first thing you ever take as a model.
Mm-hmm.
They're just basic shots that should be done in form-fitting outfits. It does not have to be a bathing suit. It doesn't have to be a nude. It doesn't have to be in underwear or panties. Most of them are form-fitting jeans and a plain colored white tank top or a plain black tank top, and that's it. Hair should be pulled up and off of your face so they can see the contour and shape of your face, cheekbone structure, and you don't use makeup. Or if you do anything, just a light brushing of powder to make sure that they can see your face evenly. You should not come forward. So
Right. Some people used to call that a test shoot.
Yeah. But as far as the digital, that's what you need industry wise to send out to different modeling agencies, different promotion agencies. If they're, castings going on for different things, they want to see the bare minimum clothing, the bare minimum makeup. They want to know that you are naturally fit and, form fitting. And it doesn't even mean skinny. It means if you're a plus size model, you fit the criteria of a plus size model and you're neat and you're within their parameters. If you have on baggy mom jeans and a loose fitting t-shirt, they can't see your body shape and contour. Even as a plus size model, you still have to wear, even if it's a what do they call it, a one piece, you can wear one of those with some pants or shorts. You can wear shorts or a skirt as long as they're tight fitting, eight frame skirt, not something with a flare into it, but something very fitting so that they can see your legs, your body shape, and all of that. That way you can get booked. That way they can see what they're working with, So that's breaking it down to the bare minimum is what, that's what a digital is. Back in the day, it used to be done with Polaroids. Right. And you used to take your Polaroid pictures in with these bodies. You turn straight forward, to the left, to the right, back, forward again, and you could do some light posing so they could see if you had any character, and that was it. No big grandiose moves, no big poses, no covering the face with your hands, none of that. Just basic posing so that they could see how your body moves and the contour of your body.
Please.
And those, and they were literally taken with a Polaroid instant camera, and you used to have to carry those. So, and this is a really good important point too. Models knowing your measurements in inches, such as the standard model size of 35, 26, 34, that's bust, waist, hips, and then include your dress size in numbers, not small, medium, large. They need to know the number. If they don't have the number size, they can't fit you perfectly. Saying that I wear a small, I've had girls in here who said they wore extra small and couldn't fit in a small.
Right.
And I mean, it was too small for them. So, you got to give me numbers. When I'm styling you, I need numbers. I can't go with small, medium, large. Well, that's what Fashion Nova does. Baby, I'm not going to I'm putting you in a Gucci jacket. I need to know that your numbers match the numbers on this Gucci jacket. I can't go by you telling me you are small.
I got to put them in the Fashion Nova.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but that's the whole idea. If you're going to go to these high-end shoots and these high-end runway shows, man, somebody tell you they're small, how much does that help you into making a clothing?
None whatsoever, because the way I make clothes, since it's hand crocheted or handmade, I need to know how many stitches per inch to fit you. So I'm doing math twice, even once you give me a set number.
So, I mean, and that's from someone who makes clothing by hand. So, knowing your number sizes is all important. Your breadth, like your bust, waist, and hip sizes, which are your traditional measurements, those are definitely necessary. That you have. In American sizes, since we are talking about American designers, we don't need to know what you wear in Japanese sizes. That don't help. We need to know they want to know what you are wearing or what you can wear of theirs in American sizes. They're not sizing for all markets. They're sizing for you. So remember that.
So bad.
Yeah, all of that information used to go on what was called a comp card. A lot of models don't even have comp cards this day, and that's what's making it a little bit harder. Because you can go to these meet and greets and events where there are 100 people there, and you can't talk to everybody. If you've got a comp card, that's like your business card for modeling. It's got that test shot photo on it. It's got your measurements on it. It's got your contact info on it. That used to be on one card, so you could just drop and go from there.
Yeah, they're still out there, and there are professional models that I know who still have comp cards. They should all have comp cards, even if they're digitally made, where you send them to them through the internet, or through emails and all. You can still have a comp card with your information on it. The only time you need it printed nowadays, I guess, is if you're going on a go see.
Right.
And you're going to see the person in person, or you're going to walk for someone, or you're going to a fitting or something. Then of course you want to have it,
Or a model.
or a model call. Yeah.
Man, try to turn down your computer.
I don't think it's
feedback.
computer.
It's definitely feedback to this mic.
It was his mouth.
Do what, man?
Turn your computer volume down. That's it. Just like what she personally did. I think.
Is that Harry?
That is Harry Crossman.
Hey Harry, I thought
Harry
you were going to
Crossman.
come on the screen. All y'all coming and talking in the background. I gave y'all the link to come on and talk.
Harry Crossman.
Y'all photographers, I wanted to see on the screen.
We got Sheila Scott in the building.
All right.
We got loved one Marcy is in the building.
Hey Marcy.
Yay!
Mrs. Keys, please forgive me. I went to public school. So
Is
I'm
this
like,
any better? I turned it about 75% down.
That's better.
Down, that's a lot better.
Yeah.
there you go. Welcome to the team, man.
Okay, cool.
Oh, Harry, as long as you can stay on. We don't expect you to stay on the screen for the whole show if you can't. But I know you're also about to go traveling. So, I know there's some points that you may want to hit on this, because this is when a fresh faced, rosy cheeked, don't know anything about the industry model walks through the door, and they want you to, or they want to, start working and start, getting into, the modeling industry. So we're just going right there. So check
So
this
my
out.
friend went to this job and she's there on set, and a model that's in the industry walks up to her and is being all nice. And she's like, oh my God, like, let's follow each other on Instagram. So my friend gives the girl her Instagram and she looks at it and then she gives it like a stink face and just looks at it like, huh? And keep in mind, my friend only has like 100 followers. Meanwhile, that model that asked her for the Instagram has like 20K, maybe 10K followers on Instagram. But then after the job, the model unfollows my friend, but still has my friend following her. And I'm just like, is that how like you get followers? Just, I feel like so many models are just obsessed with numbers. Like they only want to follow some models if they have a lot of followers like them. I'm like, y'all literally are annoying as fuck. Like,
Yeah. So I played that clip for a reason, and it's because this is the era of the models with the what do you call it? Instagram models, or social media models.
Stop chasing numbers.
And they're chasing numbers, and they're looking at numbers and trying to get people to follow them, and they don't follow them, and all this stuff goes on. Then they go into another photo shoot and they see them later, and there's a problem. And then you have animosity, models talking behind models' backs, all that other stuff. New models, stay out of the fray. Do what you came to do, be polite, have a great personality, but you don't need to give anybody your information if you don't want to. If you do, that's fine, but just be professional. Be nice, be upfront. Hey, okay, I can give you my information, but I do it after the shoot. Don't get into it. How many times have we had the model, more than one model, come in for a shoot, and they start getting into the dressing room and getting dressing room comfortable?
Yep.
And you're waiting for them to come out for a shoot, because now they've met each other and they're like, oh, I like your shoes. I like your shoes too. Oh, your hair's cute. If you don't watch it and maintain a discipline in your approach to how you come into a room, new models, you can be there for the first and last time.
When Jerry was here, first time, he knows I hate group shoots now.
Yeah.
I hate I hate review sheets.
Yeah.
But Harry, listen, we got to post that. Harry, listen, this is what I live for. Come on, Jerry. You gotta ask this question out loud.
If Instagram stopped tomorrow, what happens to all of the IG models?
Come on, talk about it.
What's going to happen is they're going to be home. They're going to be looking at all their pictures themselves. Nobody's going to see them. Because
that's the thing about models too. Sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off. Go ahead and finish.
No, you're good. And plus, you weren't too loud. I love it.
Okay. Yeah. So here's the thing with the Instagram models. The Instagram models, the people that get all the followers or whatever, you have to watch who's following you too, because you can be followed by the wrong person. It's really not about the numbers. You might have 20,000 or 15,000 or how many ever followers, but how many of those people are actually industry contacts that can get you somewhere?
Right.
So you've got 10,000 people on there. How many times have somebody said, do a submission for a magazine out of those 10,000 people? Those numbers really don't mean anything.
Right.
So for the new models, please do not worry about how many followers you have. Worry about how many industry contacts you have. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Good point.
9,000 of those is probably dudes.
Okay. I know this is Steve more than likely. Interviewed 75 models, at least half understood on what to have in the model bag and comp card material handy, such as a chicken cutlet, which is a pasty. Yeah, well, that's something new because, since the advent of latex, they started using those instead of hard pasties. And the whole idea is that I forget that those are commonplace now as well. So thank you for bringing that up.
I'm done with
the comments are rolling in now. That's what I'm saying.
Them pasties definitely
I
like
already
chicken,
sent the link to
chicken
you,
cutlets.
and I sent another message to you too, Harry. IG models have their place, but some by their contacts or likes. Yeah. No, well, wait a minute. First of all, we're not bashing internet models, but if that's your only platform, then what is your viability? Because if you're not getting people I'm not talking about the ones who get sponsored by Fashion Nova and the Fashion Nova sends them clothes, or they are with other organizations that actually give them and pay them for what they're doing. We're just talking about people who and we have a name for it here, and I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anybody, but we call it camera whores. All they want is pictures, and they are not trying to go any further. They're not trying to do anything, other than grab pictures from photographers.
Yep.
So what we're talking about is a real new model how to put them in they are definitely going to make an impression on people that see it. That's why we're talking about what you need in your bag, about comp cards. We're talking about how to get your digitals done correctly. We want to give them the tools so that when these new models come to us, they have a fighting chance. Because if you go to Steve Bennett and you don't have your game together, believe me, I'm going to hear about it. Me and Scott, we going to hear about it, and he'll send a picture of you with you so that we know to avoid it.
By the next morning, you are in our group.
You're in our group, and we're talking about it. So we want you to be able to be there and be a positive model. I want to welcome to the screen Harry Crossland. I know we don't have you for that long because you're going to be hitting the road and then going up in a plane somewhere pretty shortly. So I know you're packing and all, but I just wanted you to jump on because we always have these conversations about how we can improve the new models and get them to a point where we're getting models and not just cute girls who can't pose.
Yeah.
Shout out to Harry though.
Okay.
Pitching himself. To just do this vlog. Ain't nobody going. I'm gonna call it out.
All right, so
we know our triangles.
I got a couple of things I could approach this on. So yeah, and whoever just said that, because that's where I was going to start. Get basic business knowledge from, and not just parent or friend, but someone that's actually been doing this for a while. Here's the thing with models, you have a finite shelf life, and it may sound mean, but that's just the brutally honest truth. You have a finite shelf life, because the moment you step in front of the camera, that clock is already ticking. There's somebody else right behind you, and if you're not bringing your A game, that person will replace you. But I'm gonna come back to that in a second. But the main thing is, one, it's all about your approach. It's about your approach, how you approach not only just other models, but photographers as well. And you got, my thing is this. I can't tell you how many times I've had people slide up in my DMs. Hey, I'm new to the business. Do you do TFPs or trade for photos? Right off the break. Right off the break. Like nothing else. Just, okay, do you do free stuff?
Right.
And I'm like, okay, have you seen my work? Have you seen my portfolio? Have you seen what I said? Because I know right now, me personally, I'm not doing it unless it's a certain few people. But the thing of it is, it's all about the approach, because the thing you have to look at, one, make sure when you asking a photographer what kind of work do they do and what you can get out of them. First of all, check their work.
Right.
Make sure that the work that you may potentially get is quality work, and then consider investing in your photographer.
Yes.
Be willing. You know what? How they say, if you want to make money, you need to spend money.
Right.
And granted, yeah, there are some photographers out there that will do TFPs, especially if you're new. But don't let that literally be the first question off the break. Hey, I want to do TFPs. I have a whole conversation that I screen grabbed a couple of months ago from someone that did just that. That literally was the first question out their mouth, and I was like, "Who are you?"
Right.
like you didn't introduce yourself. You didn't tell me what kind of stuff. You literally, that was the absolute first question out your mouth.
Let me play something right quick, Harry, and this brings it right full circle because I did my own work on this subject. So check this out.
Experienced photographer, you see that's a white arrow saying that the new model ought to be paying an experienced photographer. And I still work with new models. I offer a discount of 50% or more from my standard hourly session rates for working with new models. But what I bring is really good lighting, attractive posing, a studio scenario, often costumes and props that they might not have access to. And I can also give them advice on posing.
I need that. You need to send me that.
Well, but that's what we're talking about. Like, if you look at that chart, and the chart's been around, and everybody keeps claiming they came up with it, but I've seen this chart a bunch of times. But the whole idea is that at a certain point, yes, TFing, trading, and doing this without pay comes into the conversation.
Right.
You're trying to. It's like if I was trying to be a photographer, the first thing I need is a what?
Camera.
Do you think somebody just handed me my first camera?
No. And see, and that's the thing. I don't think a lot of people, not just models, but people don't understand. Like, you all know, and I know that there's a difference between people who are photographers and people who are just people with cameras.
Right.
Because anybody can get a camera out there and just go shoot. But for many photographers, for those of us that consider it a skill, somewhere along the line, we took courses out there, we invested and honed our craft.
Right.
And if I sat up and if I could find my chart where I did a breakdown, like all the stuff that it takes for me, a couple $1,000s for a body, a couple $1,000s for lenses, hundreds of dollars for lights and setup and this, that, and the third. And the first thing you want to ask me is if I can do this for free. You know,
Right.
Jerry, I told you, there's a reason why within the past couple of years I've literally had to set like pricing charts for stuff that I do because we can't be people that just randomly just shoot any and everybody and not get something from it. I mean, yeah, there are people out there that can do that. I know I'm not in a position to do so. So it's like every time you want to go shoot out in the park just because you got a new outfit and everything, nah, that's not me. I got other people out there that may want to do it, but that's not something I'm going to do anymore because
I said on the screen. That's Anthony.
Yeah. And Anthony's more than someone with just a camera. But let me slide into something else. The bigger thing is this. Even when some of them are out here with the frame of mind, oh, I'm going to go and this photographer is going to shoot me and we're going to do TFP or whatever. I give the same advice to models that I give to photographers. You need to treat your shoots like it's a paid gig.
Right.
If you are a model, if you are a photographer, you have talked with somebody to figure out what the setup is going to be, what kind of outfit you need to wear, what your hair needs to look like, all of these things. But then the biggest part is you need to show up on time.
Right.
Because when I deal with people, especially the few that I deal with on a TFP level, the very first thing that will get me to kick you to the curb and say I won't work with you
is being late.
Being late. And not like 5 or 10 minutes late. I'm talking like half hour late. Like, no, if you early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, just don't bother. I have sent people home.
Me too.
I have sent people home because we were scheduled at a certain time and they called, well, I'm still on the road, but it's an hour and a half later. Like, no, go home. Go home. And again, for those that are out there listening, I'm going to say it again. I don't care how cute you are or you think you are. Right. You got to treat this like it's a paid gig, because the thing of it is, if you're treating this like it's nothing now, then when a paying gig does come around and you want to play diva and not show up on time, guess what? They will move you aside and they will slide that next person in. And like, we're good.
Right. Exactly.
And on top of that, you got to think about, we don't know who they know. So if you coming late, you don't know you fucking about an opportunity that like you said about Steve. Y'all already in the group chat.
Right.
You don't even know what you about to mess up, but just showing up late.
Mm-hmm.
Just show up on time.
Just like the other day, me and Harry shot here together, and one of the models was here waiting in her car before I got here.
I love it. I love it.
And I came in, didn't know she was out there, and then she posted, "Hey, I've been here." And I walked outside, and sure enough, that car that I parked in front of had a model in it. I said, "Hey, you waiting for Harry, right?" Because that's professionalism. She said, "Hey, I wasn't going to go all the way home. I was already in the area, so I just stopped here. This is where I was going to be." Right. So, I mean, and that's that key. And this is another thing, and this ties into what we're talking about too, right quick. And I love this woman right here was giving some dimes.
I think that models have kind of a misconception, of what the job is and how hard the job is. I think that most of the time they think that it's really, you're pretty and you show up and they put some makeup on you and you take pretty pictures of yourself. And it's a really hard job depending upon who the client is and what you're shooting. And who the photographer is. There's a lot of personalities on a set. You're walking in, you're working with different people almost every day. And until you have established yourself, they're all going to be strangers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
She was killing the game. Like, I to pull so much stuff that she had and said, but I was like, I'm going to keep the poignant pieces up. So,
in the building.
Black is in the building. What's up, man? guys have not been to E Black TV, you need to go over to E Black TV. That man is funny and smart and gives so much great information and does it just being himself. And that's why we love E Black TV over here at the podcast. If a model comes with a dope creative concept, I'll shoot TFP. Yeah.
That part.
There.
Yeah, me
That
too.
part right there.
I mean, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. Sometimes because this is my full-time job and this is what I do all the time. If I got down days where nothing's going on, I will try to fill it up with TFP because otherwise I'm tired. I'm getting bored and I'm sitting here cleaning stuff and moving stuff around and not really doing anything creative. I am a creative by nature, so I will put out there, TFP, got a free day, come if you got a chance. But I am also particular about that.
Right.
Because it don't mean come when you want to. It's like if you say you're going to come, what time are you going to be here? I'll be there between 11 and 1. No, what time are you going to be here?
Right.
No, this is still a shoot. Once you say you're committed to it, it's still a shoot. We're still doing something professional.
We still show up on time.
But I've actually had people tell me they would be here at noon, tell me they're putting their makeup on at 1. I'm like, I am almost ready to walk out the door now. I'm sorry.
Right.
I was expecting an hour ago.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But come back to something else about the concept. See, that's the thing, and that's the lesson I had to learn a couple of years ago, because there were way too many times I found myself going all out my way on Saturdays, driving between PG and Baltimore and other places just to go do like something that was just to me a basic concept. And I really had to put a stop to that, because I was like, I'm leaving out my house and I'm coming home with damn near full memory card and an empty gas tank and no cash. For what?
Right.
For what? And I had to stop. So I had to switch up what I was doing, because I didn't want to be frustrated. Like, okay, yeah, these some dope pictures, but like, what did I really shoot today? And what did I get out of this shoot outside of some pictures?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you're getting some dope shots. I'm taking some dope shots. I'm happy with my work, but if I'm not getting anything out of it, and the only thing you're really getting out of it is a free shoot, then no. It's like, come at me with something more than, yeah, I want to go to the park and shoot this outfit. I had a young lady a couple of years back call me up. What you doing today? I'm not doing anything. Well, I would like for you to come down to Arlington, Virginia, 20 minutes out my way. And me and some of my friends, we got these matching denim outfits on, and we want to do some photos. No. No, I'm not. I'm really not going, because when they said that, the first thing I asked, of course, what's your budget? Oh, we was going to do this TFP.
No.
I'm sorry, no. I would rather sit home and do nothing than just to shoot you and a couple of your friends for free just because y'all got matching denim outfits on.
Right.
Now, if you wear matching denim outfits and you're in the house and you decide to light the house on fire, maybe.
Burn a house behind your ass. So that's kind of
right. Give me a concept that's going to make me decide, hey, it's something. It has to be mutual, because the word I hate the most coming out of anybody's mouth, collaborate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's do a collab. Okay, well, tell me what the idea is. Give me the base, because I'm sure some of you had this too. Someone gives you the base, and then when you start adding on to the idea, oh no, I don't want to do that. Then it's not a collaboration. We're just shooting your idea.
Right. TFP is trade for, so both parties should benefit.
Right.
And if it's just something you're doing to teach, to appease someone else, then that's just you being nice. It's not
right.
For.
I'm not gonna lie.
Let's say some how to some people. I saw some names on here.
I got you. if it's like the homies, then definitely I'll pull up and take some pictures and then match it down.
Hey, Shauna.
Definitely taking the pictures. But we got Lee Cochran.
Hey, Lee, what's up?
Hey, what's up, brother?
We got Shayna.
Shauna.
Hey, Sean.
Stop it.
My favorite guy.
He's being a dick, Shauna.
She don't come up here and shank you, though.
Yeah, I hope she put one right here in the gut.
It won't be the first one.
But you know, one other thing.
Yeah.
A bigger thing too, and a big thing I encourage all models to do is while you're checking a photographer's work, which is what you should be doing, check the photographer themselves. You know, learn to differentiate between, like I said, someone that's a photographer that does excellent work and someone that you may or may not consider a creeper. Because there are people out there. Make sure that you are safe, and even if you feel like you are safe, but you're still not sure, take somebody with you. Because Jerry, you remember when the ladies were up last week? You know, there was a particular person that they were talking about, because you know, when you got two different people talking about someone and they both talking about the same thing, that's not a good look for you as a photographer. You know, when you know. And here's the thing, especially for the males, stay out of dipping in the ladies' DMs for no reason.
Talking about a shoot or something important.
Right. If you're gonna dip in their DMs and stuff, you know, go in there with a business frame of mind, because most of the time, you know, when I'm hearing some of the stuff that I'm hearing, it's making the rest of us look bad, because you sliding in the box and, yeah, girl, you looking fine, and when we gonna get our shoot on, and you not giving yourself a good look.
No.
You not giving yourself a good look, you know.
And you're getting the rest of us a bad look.
Right.
She's in the building.
Hey, Amanda, what's up?
Hey, Amanda.
And I want to throw this in right quick, because you just keep tying into everything that I pulled today, Harry. That's why I wanted you on here, and you have no idea. Watch this.
1, researching the photographer, making sure they actually exist and making sure they have an actual website. 2, looking at what their content is. If they're shooting a lot of lingerie, a lot of nudes in a trashy, non-artistic way, it might be best not to work with them. 3, getting other models as your references. It is in your best interest to actually reach out to models that have worked with said photographer to make sure that they're a legit person, that they made them feel comfortable on set. 5, you're allowed, or you should be allowed, to bring an escort with you or a friend, especially if it's your first time shooting. And remember, you can always say no to any uncomfortable situation that anybody puts you in. Legally, mentally, it doesn't even have to be respectfully. If you're not feeling safe, you got to get yourself out of that situation and let any other person, such as the authorities or your agent, know.
Exactly. And the thing of it is, if anytime you go to shoot with a photographer and the photographer says, no, you can't bring no one else to you for the shoot, you don't go.
Right.
You don't go.
If they're a professional photographer, there should be makeup artist, stylist. You might have someone who's your intern. There are usually multiple people in the environment of a professional shoot. So anybody who says, well, no, I like to be one-on-one with my subject so we can create a bond and get into it without any distractions, that's not professional. Professional is always, even on a movie set, if you're shooting a sex scene, there are 32 people in the room when you're shooting a sex scene.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
that's a little different.
No, but what I'm saying is, in general, if you're doing a photography shoot, of course, Harry, you got models who you would do a boudoir shoot with, or something sexual, and you can be alone with them. Why? Because you have years of building up a rapport with them, and they feel comfortable being in that situation. Same with Scott, same with you, same with me. But we're talking newbies. If you're telling a newbie to drop trowel the first time they shoot with you,
that should automatically be a no.
On lingerie, if you want to see them in swimsuits and this is their first shoot with you, then you're not doing yourself any good at all.
And we talking TFP.
We talk even if it's
paid
is different. They can do whatever they want. They are paying to be in that situation. Yeah. But other than that, if you are not putting yourself in a situation, and even if I do TFP, I'm like, I tend not to do any nudity or lingerie or boudoir shoots on my first TFP shoot. Absolutely. Because we don't know whether or not we will pursue any further communication after the shoot. If you feel comfortable with me and decide to book again, then we can proceed in doing something in that genre. But first, let's get to know each other before you show me your tits. I don't need to see your tits.
And for the record, I only do TFP for people I know.
Right.
Great.
I'm just not offering that.
Great.
But I also, I do offer it because I'm doing it because I like developing new artists. Right. And a lot of them can't afford my rate. Right. Just like the person who just texted me while we were sitting here and I told them my rate, and they said, thank you very much.
Yeah.
You're welcome. That was my response because I'm not going to. You never know what you're worth until you ask for it and somebody pays it.
Right. Yeah. So one other thing too for newbies, newbies should know: 1, model releases; 2, read your release.
Yeah.
Read. READ. Because I can't tell you. And I'm gonna tell y'all like this. Models, this is what pisses photographers off. You've come, you signed your release, you hopefully read your release. We do a shoot. We send you back your photos. We sent you back your photos after we edited your photos. You then take those photos and then you put them on Instagram and you throw so many filters on there and they have the nerve to tag me. And then I have to go back and tell you, you need to take that down because in your release, it says it's plain today. You cannot edit what I sent you.
Right.
Don't do that.
All right, Harry, I'm going to do the same thing. Same thing I did to Jerry because we talk to new models. They don't understand a lot of the lingo.
Let me stop you. Here's the thing. There's nothing to understand if you read your release.
Well, let's explain. Let's explain what a release for the new model. They might be watching right now.
Okay, so models out there, what your release does, it is essentially a legal contract. It is a legal contract that if you read through, it will let you know there's certain terms and conditions that you have when you're shooting with this photographer because there's certain expectations. You're expected to get a certain amount of pictures, and you're expected to take those pictures and treat them a certain way, and so is the photographer. One of the biggest things that, a lot of us pride ourselves on is, 1, making sure that you're not turning around and taking the work that we've done and monetizing that work. And a bigger thing is that you're not turning around and re-editing what has been edited. So
say that last part again.
That you're not going around re-editing our work on stuff that we have edited.
Come on. Right.
Because if I've taken my time to compose the shot, take the shot, look at the shot after,
pay for the program,
color corrections, sharpening, removing blemishes, doing all of these things to make this outfit looking a certain way, and then you're going to go back and throw an ugly filter on it, then you tag me on it. Then you tag me on it. And I have to tell you, no, that is not my work. That is not indicative of my work, because what happens when you take that picture that a photographer is taking, when you take that picture and put it out there, you're now advocating for us.
Right.
You're advertising for us. Right. And people are going to see that, oh, he take pictures like that? No. And the reason being, because that's not the picture I sent you.
Right.
So don't touch our work. If you don't like our work,
don't post it.
Don't post it. Matter of fact, Anthony will tell you how he had a lady that took one of his shots and she went out and re-edited and made her skin darker. And that wasn't her skin color.
Even if that's the plan, it's not communication.
Right. That's another thing. That's another thing that your release is for. If there's something out there that you get that you are not happy with, communicate it with us before you post it or before you do anything. Because sometimes, yes, we might work with you and say, well, yeah, I could do some touching up here and there. I might be able to do this. I might do a little bit of that. Other times we might say no because that's not part of the agreement. Or in another instance, and we're by legal right to do so, if you want me to do XYZ things, there's a charge. Because, see, a lot of people don't realize we don't just click a button.
Right.
There's so many other pieces of what we do before we throw it in Lightroom or Photoshop and go edit. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think, oh, it's just going to come out there and click a button. It's going to look good. No. Unless you understand what goes on when all 5 of us on here look through that eyepiece, then don't ever come out your mouth and say, oh, y'all just push a button. It's a lot more. It's a lot more behind that.
So I want to go one more step into this contracts and releases and everything, because this next little clip, this is the last clip of the night. I know y'all are happy. But this is what can happen to a new model if they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I know one of them had gone to a photo shoot and it was for like a legitimate big brand and they had finished it, and then she got offered to like have like double her pay if she took a couple like nude photos, and she was 15, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, they did pay her like the extra money and they only took 2 photos, but the 2 photos got put like all over online like a couple months after she turned 18.
That's the thing. If you get a release, read the release. If you're underage, you need to have a parent. And somebody just said in chat, and I'm reading right now, you need to sit down and discuss the terms of new. You know what? It's not with new models, it's models. Period.
Yeah, that's any model for any shoot, regardless.
Right. Anybody. Because you know what some of us have had happen too. We've had quotation figures, experienced models on a TFP that have come about their mouth, oh, I want the raws. I want all the pictures back. And that's not how that works. That's not how that works. And yes, people sign anything and not read it all the way through. This is why, it's like you need to read that release carefully before you sign it. Make sure you know what you're signing up for. Ask questions. Because if something happens and it goes to court, if there's a signed document and the judge asks you about the signed document, well, did you read the document? No. Guess who loses?
Right.
And a good photographer will actually go over that contract with you and break down those specifics and say, this is what this means. This is what this means. I've even seen model releases where a model has to carry her oath of health insurance in case she gets stung by a bee, so that it's not on the photographer. So all that stuff is in there, and a really good, decent photographer will read through all that and explain it all to you.
So Harry and Van just spoke on something that I do want to just like, y'all know how I get down. Okay. It's like you right, the contracts mean a lot.
Right.
But we living in an age where whether we write in the courthouse, public opinion is fucking us up. So if that model is saying some dumbass shit,
right,
that don't even matter
on social media,
right? And she get a gang of people watching her. We still heard it then.
The court of public opinion don't bury you.
Now, I'm not gonna wood. I haven't experienced this, but I've seen this.
But I've also seen it where there have been negative instances and nothing was done about it, so they only had social media to turn to. And they found out that there were a lot of people in that same situation with that same photographer, and they all now know to stay away from that photographer. So it can be a double-edged sword. It can hurt you, because we've also said when we remember the model safety podcast, we were talking about who's policing who. Right. So if people are policing the photographers, who is going behind the people that are policing the photographers to make sure that the girl who's saying that he did something wrong didn't just not get enough edits and are mad at him because she only got 10 edits, even though that's what they agreed upon, but she wanted more edits and he wouldn't do it unless she paid him. And then the next thing you know, he did something inappropriate.
Or maybe the pay shoot first.
You know.
You know what? The thing, and the thing of it is, how it easily could have been solved was that the photographer should have put in the contract. This is a minimal amount. This is the minimum amount of photos that you're going to get. Yeah. That's the thing. And you know, for anybody out there that's a photographer that's listening, if you don't have a release, you need to get one. And then you need to review that release and every little tiny thing that you could think of, because Van, you just gave me an idea about the whole liability issue, because I never thought about that, but that's a good idea. But every little thing that you could think of, from a bee sting to a food allergy to something freak happening like they fall and bust themselves on some heel, every little thing that you can think of needs to be in that release, because again, it is a binding document that could be held up in court.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, everything from the down to the amount of pictures, all that.
Except for bee stings and sunburns are act of God.
Acts of God, right?
If somebody, so if somebody is out in the sun too long and they say, "Hey, I sunburn easily," and you don't take them inside, you know, within that time limit, then you're liable. But if you say, "Okay, we're cutting and we're done," and they still get sunburned, that's on them.
Yeah.
That's not you. So people will do that to try to protect themselves. But if you have regular business insurance, you are covered.
Mm-hmm.
So and cover in regular business insurance covers you for way more than any normal person will try to get from you for any of those types. Even if they try to sue me for $50,000 for a bee sting, my insurance company would pay it.
Yeah.
Right. And that also goes into like the cost of why, you know, photographers are asking to be paid for their stuff, because now if they're covering insurance, if you get hurt, I mean, they got to recoup that somehow.
Right.
Okay, but Anthony, I'm going to ask you a question. Was it her concept to be on the rocks, or did you put her on the rocks? Because if it was her concept to be on the rocks and you say, watch your step, you are not liable. If you said, I want to get pictures of you on those rocks, you're liable.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to remember all that. That's the whole idea. If you're taking precaution, I had a girl, we were in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania, shooting a calendar, and I told her, I don't want you getting anywhere near the water because this is rushing. It's been raining for 2 weeks straight. The water is rushing. It will take you straight down the Potomac. You will be found in George Washington and going past the Washington Memorial in your dead body if you get caught up in the stream. And she was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Next thing I know, she was down near the water, almost got swept away.
Mm-hmm. Fucked around, found out.
She fucked around and found out. And I was like, you know that if you would have fell in that water and we would have told the cops, they would have just called people like 2-3 miles downstream and say, put out a boat, what do you call it? A bolo?
Bolo.
Yep. And catch her ass as she come down. Hopefully, you know.
Hank said we both fell.
Well, y'all shouldn't have been there. I'm sorry.
Did you save the camera?
No, that is so wild, right? y'all both know my sister, right?
T.
Shout out to T.
Shout out to T.
My niece won't let that down. He was doing something I like to call gorilla shooting, right? And I went to this pond that was part of this house, and I slipped, and the only thing I could do was keep my camera this way. All I could do is keep my camera this way. And I remember Tiara looking at me. She said, what you want me to do? Grab the fucking camera. Everything else. Oh, man. Yeah. Yes, all right. Save the camera.
All right. I got two more things I want to hit, and then I'm out.
I want to read this comment right quick, Harry.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda, I have fallen on a shoot once on rocks in a waterfall. The photographer had insurance that covered any injury, and he assured I was okay, and he admittedly stopped the shoot to make sure I was okay. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, the same thing is with me. Wherever I am, my insurance covers you. So I have business insurance for that purpose. But the whole idea is that y'all got to stop putting yourselves out there and getting in these positions where you can get hurt.
Right.
Don't be that adventurous for a shoot. I mean, unless they're paying you a lot of money that makes that insurance seem like it's worth it, I wouldn't do it. I don't take chances. Harry will tell you, I would not leave the floor when those girls were doing those pictures Harry posted on the
harness.
He will tell you, I would not leave the immediate area because they are not used to this. They are not aerialists. They don't know that if their foot slips to the left, they could go out and it will hit their head. I was right there and caught one of them.
Mm-hmm. Facts, y'all.
You know, it's also, you have to be careful of your liability. And I tell people, if I see you slip once, I'm like, all right, we're done. Let's go. Let's move.
Yeah.
I'm not wait to try to get the shot and have you kill yourself. Then I'm like, yeah, just because she died, we got this. No, it's not worth it. Honestly, I'm that situation for liability purpose. You have to say, I don't advise it, but if you feel comfortable with it, I can take the shot, but I can't guarantee your safety. That's true. I get you.
That's true. That's true too. But most of the time, if it really looks unsafe, I ain't doing it. I will not, and I will tell the model not to do it. Like again, and sometimes even if it's a paid shoot, still again, no, we're not doing this because that doesn't look safe. Like one time I did a garage shoot down at the National Harbor. You know, one of my friends in their cosplays. Matter of fact, let me come right back because Jerry, you even know when we had the cosplayers at your spot and we were all up on the roof. What did I tell everybody to do? Stay in the middle of the roof.
In the middle, don't get close to the edge.
Stay away from the edge.
You don't know if you have vertigo until you get vertigo. So
right. And every time one of them started wandering a little close, bring your ass back to the middle of the roof. But that also brings me to one more subject I want to hit on. And models, new and old, do not be so eager, especially when you're in those dangerous situations, to do your behind the scenes and selfies and all that stuff. Because here's the thing, if you're concerned about your numbers on social media, the fastest way to kill any momentum for your shoot is to plaster 100 pictures of your behind the scenes stuff before your actual photos.
Gets to post, yeah. Or you get to post your photography work.
Right. Right, because you just out there, you didn't. Okay, well, I'm in this outfit. I'm gonna click this, and here's a shot doing the thing, and here's another one, and here's another one, and they've got traction. But then by the time your actual photos get back to you, well, I wonder why I only got 20 likes, because everybody didn't see everything else.
Right.
And it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts when people hit me back. Well, this didn't get any momentum. I said, yeah, because you done posted 4 or 5 behind the scenes joints before you actually posted the stuff that I sent you.
By the way, I at Hartford for insurance. We are Hartford. Yeah.
So that's it. So basically, to sum it up with me,
I don't know.
For people that I work with, especially the first time, act like you're about the business. Show up early and on time, because time is money. My time is not to be wasted.
You have to break it up somehow, man.
You know,
I'm sorry.
Invest.
I just made a big mistake. We did the farmers insurance thing. That's we are farmers. That's why they laugh.
Hey, man, I should break it up somehow.
They caught me
using
the wrong theme song.
All of this stuff is absolutely critical.
Yeah, it is.
When you're starting out. I mean,
right.
Don't take unnecessary chances. You know,
biscuit for the biscuit.
Laugh out loud. I was like,
if you get the biscuit, but
if you ain't the biscuit,
you ain't getting no biscuit.
You ain't getting no powder.
Oh, hell no.
I'm the youngest one here, so you know.
But you know what? One other thing too. it just popped to me. Models, as you are starting to get into this and you're starting to get photos, build your website so that way people can see the work that you've done and credit your photographers.
Oh, talk about that.
Credit your photographers. Those pictures do not get taken by themselves. Somebody did the work. Make sure you credit us on that work. I had to fuss somebody out a couple of months ago because they were using work from years ago. And sure, we don't get along, but at the same time, credit me for my work.
Right.
Credit me for my work. Either credit me for my work or don't use my work. But make sure you do that, because guess what? When you start building up your portfolio and other people are looking at your work, again, if you shot with Steve or somebody like that, and we can see, I could tell because that's Steve's work because Steve's name is on it. That's starting to build up your credibility. That starts to get, But if you're constantly doing work and not crediting the people who's helped you, your makeup artist, your photographer, the dress that you got on, the person that did your hair, if you're not crediting all those people, guess what? None of us get work.
Right.
Because you didn't just wake up looking like this.
Right.
You didn't just wake up. I mean, if you're that good, and there are very few out there that are talented enough to do so, but if you woke up looking that good, more power to you.
But every be with just friends, right? But my friends will know if y'all post a pic that I done took and took time out to create. Came in on there. Hey, yo, check this out. Hey, show her that.
Yeah.
Problem.
Yeah.
Like I don't play about it. Yo, put my name. That's why.
Yeah.
Just like how we spoke, I put my name on all my pictures. That's CFP.
Okay, I tend to have a pre-shoot consultation day before on the process and deliverables. New models with me is a must to attend, and I know Steve is telling the truth with that. He does not play. Everything he does is very regimented and very structured, and that's why you've never heard his name in any negative situations because he's so above board. You know what you're getting when you go in, you know what you're going to get when you get done, and you're going to know what kind of support you have through the process. And that's the same thing that I've built here. If any model tells me I've deviated from the program and what I do here with them, it's few and far between, because I believe, I've only had one instance where I haven't done a 24-hour delivery, and that was on a shoot that me and Harry did together too. And when I delivered those images, I was like so upset with myself, but it happened right before my surgery, and then I was gone, and then it just kind of got lost in the sauce. But I'm redeeming myself.
Yeah.
There. But the whole idea is that I am a creature of habit, and it burnt my soul until I got those images out. So,
and that's another thing. That's another thing. Photographers, and some of y'all out there listening, photographers, turn over your work.
Yeah.
Because it's nothing worse. I've heard so many models say, well, yeah, I took a picture with this person, and from what I saw on the camera, the pictures looked fine, but I never got back my pictures. I had one young lady who told me how she worked with one guy in November, right before Thanksgiving. And then 5 months later, he's back on her again, trying to get her to do work. And she was like, dude, how we going to work? And I still haven't received anything from last one. Oh, don't worry about those. Don't worry about. Again, y'all make the rest of us look bad.
Right.
When you're done, turn over the work. Let your clients know. Again, treat it like it's a business. Treat it like you're getting paid. Regardless of whether or not you're getting paid, you need to let your clients know when they can expect to see their pictures. And sometimes it makes you look better. Well, yeah, I give you your pictures in a week, and 3 days later they got their pictures.
Right.
That's a not so secret tip. Because guess what? As long as people can see the deliverables and a nice turnaround time, they'll come back. And
Yeah.
my absolute last before I go, the biggest favor y'all could do for us, bring us business. Bring us business.
Well, I have a running a running thing with my TFP work. It's for me, it's like I'll do TFP with you, but eventually you have to bring me some paid work. It doesn't have you, but you know what also helps, and I'm gonna ask every photographer here to think about this as they go forward with their business. Birthday shoots are not free.
Right.
Maternity shoots are not free. Gender reveals are not free.
Maternity shoots.
Maternity shoots are not free.
Weddings.
Well, no,
Let me say it again. Weddings.
I'm not going to say that because anybody who goes into a DMV TFP group to get their wedding done, they deserve 10 pictures and no edits.
Wesley in the building too, bro.
So, I mean, for
What's
me,
going on, Wesley?
y'all have to step up to the plate and let these cute models who turns your nose up a little bit and delivers you amazing work when you need it, and let them know certain things should not be free. I don't care if you give them a 70% discount off of your rate, but you deserve something for doing something that is a momentous occasion. I cannot do photo shoots for you that everybody else who comes to me pays for. I'm not going to take pictures of little Ray Ray leaving to his prom for free for you because I did TFP for you, because that's a paid gig for everybody else. I want to be paid. When there's time, when Jerry wants to be paid, I'll tell you straight up, well, that's a paid gig.
Amen.
Let me tell you.
Don't invite me either.
Let me tell you.
Just on my camera.
Going back to Harry's point, model that I've been dealing with for a while, TFP and paid, one of the greatest feelings in the world, exactly to Harry's point, is she called me a few weeks ago, and we didn't have anything scheduled or what have you, but she had a paid shoot with somebody who wanted her to model with his cars. I guess he's in the car scene or whatever. And as they were discussing the shoot, she said, well, because he wanted to use his photographer, and she's like, well, I'm not going to shoot that content with your photographer, but I know somebody. And then she reached out to me, and that turned into a paid shoot. And that's exactly what Harry and Rich and Jerry and Van and all of us are talking about. There's got to be some reciprocation somewhere.
Right.
So, and to the photographers, it may not come immediately, but if you are serious about your business, you're serious about what you do, somebody is going to notice, and eventually, if you stay the course of being the business-minded person that you are, it will come back around.
Oh, I put all those up. But I also, I've actually had to cancel shoots that were TFP when one girl said, oh, I was waiting for my cake from Walmart. I'm like, this is a birthday shoot? I don't do birthday shoots for free. How much is your birthday shoots? Told her before that, and she was like, I can't afford that right now. I'm like, well, okay, we need to reschedule the TFP when you're ready. Right. But I don't do birthday shoots for free. If I do it free for you, then the next model who wants it, I would have to do it free for them.
Exactly. We don't set a precedent for that.
I don't, and I can't be questioned about it because what I decide to do, I do of my own volition. Just like the other day when me and my wife, who's now in the building, how you doing, Sheila?
That's 35 years. That's 35 years.
But we had our event yesterday, and I had at least 3-4 photographers in the room. Did I expect or ask any of those photographers to go to their cars or go to their bags or go grab a camera and capture any moment from me at any time?
No, you did not. And in fact, yes, I am going to put this out here. Us, your brothers, your partners, sat here, and actually mentioned exactly what you just said.
Right.
And
y'all were here as guests. Y'all weren't here to work.
In my defense, I came a little bit.
But
pretty sure y'all will be behind the camera.
no, but the whole idea is that wasn't the part. It's like I don't care about you being lit or anything. It was like this when I like living in certain memories. I would love if there's some. I know I took a couple selfies, stuff like that, and I saw people when we were saying different things, and they're gonna send stuff to me. That was funny as shit. But for me,
I dropped the shit 6 times a day.
it's okay.
Oh man!
And on that note,
I want live memories. Everything for a photographer is about what they capture and not what other people capture them doing. So for me, the live moments of being here with my wife and being here with my friends, I remember that shit, and I remember it. I remember the 3 alcohol changes, like whiskey to tequila to potato vodka. We were experimenting over here.
To cookies.
A lot of cookies were made. So yeah. Somebody said, "Hey, Boo Sheila." Amanda.
That's Jay.
Hey Jay, Nicole. So anyway, we would definitely like to thank you for joining in, Harry. But we about to wrap this thing up anyway.
me too.
We got an under 2 hour moratorium right now. We trying to keep it to where it's fun, exciting. We get good subjects, but we don't talk to you all night and pontificate on shit to the point where we start repeating ourselves. But yeah. I would definitely like to go around the room one more time and say, this is the Grown Man Clique Podcast. This to my right is. To my left is.
I'm rich.
On the screen above my boy Harry is.
I'm Harry. I'm Harry all day.
Above Harry is.
Van Gogh.
Thank you. That took forever.
Did you turn it back up?
No, I had to unmute my mic so you wouldn't get like background noise and stuff.
All right. Well, everybody, we'd like to thank you for joining in and everything. And this has been a great show. New models, I hope you got some great information that you can use from here on out. Our next model show that we'll do will be about our illustrious and professional models. But that's not going to be for a couple of weeks. We've already got our shows mapped out. Harry, I want to thank you for coming in again, and I hope you enjoy your trek across the country and wherever you
Thank
want.
you for having me, guys.
Have fun. We'll see you in a few weeks. Man, we'll see you probably on the Grizzly on Wednesday. Everybody else,
probably Wednesday, yeah.
If you want to see the Grown Man Clique more than one time a month, or one time a week, you can catch us live on the Sophisticated Grizzly Podcast with my boy who couldn't make it tonight, but he checked in more than once. My boy, Dearest Teddy. Oh my gosh, I don't know what the subject is because he's not here, but let me tell you one thing. On Wednesday nights, we have a great time over at the Sophisticated Grizzly Podcast. To everybody, I'm gonna see if I can do this. We had Anthony, we had Harry, we had Kelly, we had Shauna, we had Steve, we had Amanda, we had Jay, we had so many people. Marcy, how could I forget Marcy? We had so many people on the podcast tonight, and then we decided to put this from the beginning to the end. And we want to thank you for being on the Grown Man Clique Podcast. Yo, we don't do all those daggone long ass accents. We just go bye.
See?